So it's just burying me today. And I've already blabbed about all the things I wanted to do on mine. And he was gonna finish, he just added his nostrils. And so I said I wanted to share a picture of the original, which ours is art, it's not real. But I was interested in these nostrils. I think they're cool looking. So can you see that?
I can. There it is.
And see how it's kind of a, I'd like to gouge that,
Right,
you know, underneath.
right. It goes back in
Yeah.
like an undercut.
Yeah. Like a huge undercut. I want to do that.
Oh, I should have looked at that before I cut.
Well, and I thought now's a good time to, if you want to do any adjustments, and you don't have to. But I said that that's exactly where I stopped last time. I said I need to pull up the picture again because I'm getting lost in what I think
Yeah,
I remember versus what I and but this is an art form, it's like that cirrus, that piece across the top is not nearly as pronounced as I thought it was. This where the nostrils are, I
yeah,
thought that was really well defined, but in this picture, it's just a line basically.
yeah, yeah. It's really thin.
So I've got it more defined than that, but anyhow, this is the one I've decided to use. And oh, I just noticed something a detail I want to get in here if I can, since I still am working on my eye socket. See
Yeah,
how right above the eye, not it's a little more than halfway, there's a peak there.
right.
I like that. I
Yeah.
want that. I want that. Do you think I could pull that off? It gives him it looks more intelligent somehow. So like because he's
Right.
got that little peak. I'm gonna do that. And originally, when I saw this picture, I was going to carve so that all these spikes that are spiking out here. But when you think of it as a cane that you hold, that might not be pleasant if they're poking out. Better leave it smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want, I can leave this up on your monitor for you, but you're basically finished. So I don't know what you can do about the nostrils. I really like the nostrils, so I'm gonna try to. I made an attempt, but it was more of a gouge mark instead of an undercut, like you said.
Right.
I don't know what tool I'm going to use to accomplish that, but I want to do that. I want to do that.
I went to because I didn't follow this eagle and those nostrils. I used a veiner and started a circle with it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how when we were doing that flower, the center of the flower, we used I don't remember which gouge. It would have been,
Probably the 9. I think it was a
yeah,
9.
probably 9, and we
Mm-hmm.
just turned it. And
Yes. Yes.
that's what I decided I would try and do with this. And I mean, it worked okay, but it just came in at the wrong angles, and I don't know how I missed that, correct spot on this side that's crooked.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
Well, he's got character. I told that to a girl at work. She said something about something she had done. It was all crooked. And I said, no, that just means it's got character or something broke off. And she said, no, it's broken off. And I
Yeah.
said, it's just got character. And she said, is that what you call it? I said, oh, yeah, wood carving. We do it all the time. Got character. Been in a fight. Right? So I can leave that up if you want, but I took it down because I wanted to see your full picture while you were talking.
Okay.
And we just started recording, so if you want to tell I guess, Brad,
Well,
if he watches it, what you're gonna
last
do.
week I was working on smoothing out these feathers. And then this week I put some character in them with little lines, you know, some texture to the feathers themselves. Um, and then I put the nostrils in last night. Um, and then, oh, today, and I sprayed it.
You
So
getting
it's,
ready to paint.
yeah, it's ready for painting. And except,
So you're gonna paint it before you put the eyes in.
yes,
That makes
I've
sense.
always
I
had
put
the
the eyes
eyes.
in first,
Yeah, I
and
always
then I
had the
paint.
eyes in there first, right? And I
But
thought this time, you know, I'll try and paint, put the eyes in, and then if I need to touch it up, I can. Um, One thing I'm pondering though is you can see I've got wood burned up here.
mm-hmm,
And down here, all my wood burning has disappeared.
right.
And I'm wondering if you think I should put some wood burning
I
to
do.
for
I do.
shadows. Okay,
I do because you have such dark prominent up there,
right,
it looks like it's unfinished somehow with
okay.
it. Yeah, I do think you should darken up some of those lines down there.
All right. Well, that's what I'm gonna do next then is
Yeah.
wood burn.
I have one question about waiting to put the eyes in, because as I recall, and it's been a couple years, so it's been about 3 years. So tell me if I'm wrong. But when you put the putty in, don't you have to sand it? And isn't that going to mess up your paint job?
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, I say, oh yeah, that makes sense to wait until after you paint because then you won't slap any paint on the. But you can
Yeah,
easily take the paint off the plastic. You can just wipe it, you know. And I'm worried that if you, unless you do that putty, no, even if you do the putty perfectly, it seems like you have to sand it, and that'll scrape your paint off unless
yeah.
you're very careful.
So when you've done this before,
Hmm.
have you tried to paint the putty?
I don't think I had to because I think it was the same color as the wood. And I guess it would be white, wouldn't it? The white around the eyes.
Well, yeah, this is the color of my quick wood.
Yeah, I think I did paint the eyes because it's the white around the eyes, some of it.
Okay,
Hmm. I think I did. It's been a long time. And you know what? We've got lots of samples. Let me share because everybody everybody offered to let us use it on the website. So I have like a file of samples. So let me get out of that and go into all right, here's Bob Dixon's. Let's put the gurus up there. Why not? So yeah, it looks like he painted
yeah, yeah,
all around and left a little gray area around the eye. So there's Bob Dixon's. But I've
yeah,
got plenty of samples, which is what I did last time. I looked at the ones I really liked and
yeah.
kind of took a little from each of them. This time I'm
Okay,
going more with the real, as you know, with the real eagle.
right, okay.
Here's a Chuck
Yeah,
Sandine.
look at that.
Isn't that cool?
That
So
is,
this is, I was afraid that spiky stuff might be kind of dangerous if your hand was right near it.
right.
But yeah, wild, huh? And then here's Chuck Smith's, just wood burned.
Okay,
It looks like he hadn't put his eye in yet there though. And then here's a couple of dads. My dad,
right.
which doesn't show the eyes, but it shows the one he did the feather work all the way down. This must be my Uncle Birch's because it says USMC on the side. He did one for my Uncle Birch.
Okay.
Um, and then that's that's Dad too. And it says Burchard, so that must be for my other uncle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But look how deep his gouge is there.
right,
And it's very dark. So I think he must have painted that because as you said, the putty is not that dark.
right. Okay,
So yeah, you can paint on it. It doesn't take the same.
right.
Okay, here's another one where he painted the white. So that's our answer. But Jeannie Scher she's like your wife. She was an artist before she took up wood carving. And so hers was one that I liked.
Okay.
It's more stylized, I guess. She was one of my models for my last one. Of course, mine
Yeah.
didn't come out
Okay.
like that.
All right. See, that's a wood glued, I mean, that's a super glued beak.
Which one?
And
Jeannie's?
genies, yeah.
Yeah, I think in all of my dad's were too.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. I think they had the same class with Bob Dixon.
Right. Okay.
And that was Jeannie. I already showed that one. Here's a guy named Jim Tierney.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool, huh?
They're so good.
And Milton Haynes
Yeah.
went black and white. That's an interesting idea. And then you may have seen that this was one of Ray's. Ray did a bunch, but this was one of his.
All right.
And he was cranking them though. So look,
Yeah.
he just put it like you did. He just put a
Yeah.
divot for the
Yep.
nostril there. He didn't do like I'm saying. He put a hole there, didn't he?
Yep. It's
Maybe with
nice
an
and round.
owl. I think he does a lot with his Dremel, so that might have been a Dremel.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
drilled it. Yeah.
Dremel makes sense for,
Now
yeah.
I really like this one. This is Rob Basco. And this is where I got my idea of making it more like furniture.
Right, right.
Because Rob was a woodworker before he became a wood carver. And so he's really good with stains. And I like the detail he did. It's got this rope look. And so that was one of the things I modeled after too.
Yeah,
And that's why I used stain last time. But I'll
okay.
probably just stick with my instead of
Yeah,
wood stain, my usual, my regular clothing stain. And then this one's a stylized, it
I
says
sure did.
stylized head.
I think I saw a pattern like that or a drawing at least.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So those are if you want me to send you any of these that you like or all of them, I can send you. They were on the website, which I let go of he had paid 300 and some odd dollars to have a professional to have the pro
Right,
level so we could accept money online.
right.
I turned that off. So
Okay.
I don't even know. I don't know the status of the website right now. I don't want to go in it right now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I have these in a folder that I could send to you if you wanted to look at them. It's a little late now, but just
Yeah.
remember in case you decide to do another one, you can look at
Oh,
some of
no,
these.
I'd appreciate having the pictures.
You want the pictures?
Yeah,
Okay. I should probably send them to Fred too, even though it's a little late, but I can do that. I can send it as a zip folder, and you guys can open it.
yeah,
All right. So in the meantime, I'm going back to my eagle head that I like, the real one, real photo. And they're different, angles and different photos. That was just one that appealed to me at the time. And it helps me because I get lost. I think I know what it's supposed to look like. And then all of a sudden I said, wait a minute, did I take off the wrong part? I don't like when that happens. So I gotta have a reference picture. Do you want me to share it and put it up on the screen, or do you want to just leave us like this? Because I can look at it on my own. I don't have to share it.
Okay.
It's up to you. If you want to see it, I can share it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, I better do this before I forget. You said you wanted this folder. It's called Eagle Head Sample Pictures. I gotta go into Gmail. I'll send this to you and Brett. I hope that worked. All right, I sent the pictures. Oh, I was sharing that whole time, wasn't I? That's the wrong one. That is not the one I'm after. So now I'm going to equal original. So here's the one that I'm using. Undercut, as you said. I like how you said undercut. That's accurate. And I got to make my eyes a lot deeper. And that line deeper. And how does this part go? The series, it just kind of ends. I made that too deep in the shell. So if I look at my sample, I've got this pretty squared off right here where the
Yeah.
cirrus ends. And the sample, it's hardly anything. It's a line. So I'm going to shallow that out, I think. Take some of this off right through here. Make it more flush. Yeah, And I gotta get more narrow beak going. And I haven't done the tip at all.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been scared of it.
I
Because
hear
Dad
that.
always said that. He was always like, ah. I
Yep.
was always like, ah.
And I understand because I usually have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm. Try to think every gentle touch, every. I do. I do. I think of her and say, "You just don't have to take a lot off here, just gently." I am going to hone my tools before I begin. It's probably time for the first session to be over, and I'm just now getting started. But sometimes you got to stop and think about what you're going to do before you do it, before you jump in. Good to have a plan. Voice. Which one of these things am I going to do first? Let's start first. Flat for 3. Oh dear, I wasn't wrong. Ziggy, set timer.
For how long?
8 minutes.
1 minute, starting now.
Ziggy, cancel timer.
1 minute timer cancel.
Ziggy, set timer.
Timer for how long?
7.5 minutes.
7 minutes and 30 seconds, starting now.
Let's see this. It looks like there's a big wide area back behind the eye. I need to move this out. Line was, okay. Almost follows a straight line. Okay, so splays out just. Ah, ha, aha. I figured out what's wrong. So if you think of the fur on top, it looks like fur instead of feathers.
Right.
Above the eye, it
Right.
goes way down on the nose.
Yeah.
So the eye is like right in the center. And mine, it's right at the edge of the eye. I took off too much wood. So now I have a choice. I can lower everything down, make it all smaller to match my holes. Or I could fill those holes in and bring my eyes back some. Or I could just have a very short brow.
Lift it up a little. Okay,
See, my eyebrow stops basically right over the center of the eye. And look at this in the
right,
sample, it's way over the edge of the eye, way
right.
down onto the nose.
Well, you could compromise a little bit, sand that down or cut it down a little bit. And you could put
Pearson.
a new ridge in there, yeah.
Mhm.
If you angle that
I
down,
thought something looked a little weird, but
I
that's
didn't
what's going on. Yeah.
I didn't notice it till you said it. I see what you're talking about.
When I wanted to, well, I wanted to put that little arch in, right? But
Right,
I
right,
don't have it. I can't do an arch when that's where my top ends,
right.
which I'm sure they could still figure out it's an eagle. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Ah, this is gonna be a skinny, skinny little thing by the time I'm done. And I could just hear Fred saying, "You got a fireplace, right?"
Yeah, right.
Might be time for the fireplace. Stand my butt. You know I'm going to use a gouge instead of saying I take as much off as I can with the gouge and then I'll sand. Get a hold of it. Stick that through there. So sorry about last night too, by the way.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate, but it wasn't your fault.
Just glad everybody responded before. I should have said, let me know you got this. I didn't want to call in case you're in the middle of something else.
Yeah.
But you guys responded. So the good news is, Barry, I think I'm getting really good at undoing my stuff, taking wood off, man. Because this is like the
Yeah.
third time I've had to redo stuff. I just keep having to.
Well, that happens to me all the time. And I can't say that I'm really good at it. I can say I'm persistent at making corrections
Well, it's
or changes.
almost undone already. Yes, once I decided what I needed to do, I just kind of. Oops, quitting. Oh, Biggie, stop. All right, we gotta end this session. We're gonna lose it. Ziggy, stop. We're gonna lose this session, so now's a good time for me to break too, because it just started splitting. I bragged about how fast it was going.
Okay.
All right, see you at 5 to your hour.
Okay.
Is that right?
See you then.
Okay.